The rarest auras in Souls RNG have extremely high numbers for the rarities, like Equinox, which is a 1 in 2.5 billion. Yeah, billion, with 9 zeros in it, which is absolutely crazy. But what if I told you that rarity was kind of a lie? Because if you're using the Genesis Drive like I am with its 12,000% luck and Darkshader, Equinox become a nimble 1 in 82.2 million if you have VIP, and 1 in 106.8 million if you don't, making it the only actual 100 million plus in the game. So in this video, I'll be telling you guys how the rarity above global auras is kind of a lie by going through every global in the game and giving you guys the actual rarity of it with the best gauntlet combo being Genesis Drive and Darkshader. But how do you actually get this rarity, and how am I not making this up? We'll go over all of this after I tell you guys to please subscribe, because it is a dream of mine to reach 100,000 subscribers. I'm currently less than a quarter of that, which, well, that kind of sucks. And a lot of other content creators for this game have already reached 100k. So it'd be really nice of you to just subscribe, comment, like, share the video, and turn on notifications. Help me do that. And honestly, I feel like if I reach 100k subs, I don't even know how many game passes I'll give away. I'll just manifest the Robux and just give stupid amounts away. But yeah, let's just get on to how do you actually get these crazy rarities. So we need to get something called average luck per roll. And what this is basically how much luck you get on each roll, not the, well, luck that it says on here, but it includes your left-handed gauntlet. So to get this, you first of all get your current luck. So for the video, I'll only use Genesis Drive's 12 total luck plus 1, which is 13. Then you put that into an equation like this for the Darkshader, which is the best gauntlet to use, which I'll prove in a later video. For total luck, and with no gauntlets, it would just be 9 times the gauntlet luck that you have plus 2 times the gauntlet luck that you have for the bonus 2x luck roll. Then after you get this total luck, you divide it by the amount of rolls the entire cycle takes. So normally without a gauntlet it would just be 10, but with the Darkshader it's 30. That gives you your average luck per roll. And I have a 2x here because I was talking about the limbo globals, which adding on extra Dave's Hope, and they give you an extra 1350% luck, adding on an extra 70 and 325. Yeah, these limbo globals definitely are not what they say they are. This is not a 1 in 666 million by any means. And yeah, after you have this average luck per roll, you just divide that into your rarity. So 1 in 800 million divided by the average luck per roll to get your actual winning chance. The rarity of if you rolled an aura with 1 luck or with your buffs disabled. So for example, the 1 in 80 million rarity for Equinox, if you got Carriage or Dutchman without any buffs, I'm sorry to say, but you just mixed out on literally the highest displayed rarity in the game. But I'll be showing the limbo globals with, of course, having all the forbidden posters on, max Dave's luck, and the best gauntlets, just to show you guys how much of a joke they are. But anyway, enough yap, let's just get to all these auras. So first of all, we have Luminosity, which is right here, and this aura becomes a 1 in 39.4 million aura with VIP, and a 1 in 51.3 million if you don't have it. And you can tell how big of a difference VIP and VIP plus, of course, makes. This aura is absolutely, this just becomes literally Matrix without any gauntlets if you don't have VIP. That is crazy. And now Pixelation, a 1 in 1 billion 73 million, something like that, I forgot the number, becomes a 1 in 35.3 million with max VIP, and a 1 in 45.9 million if you don't have it. So if you have VIP and you get ethereal or ethereal without buffs but with the VIP buff, which actually that doesn't make sense, you missed out on Luminosity. And someone's about to pop like 50 billion heavenlies. Yup, they definitely did so, and they got Abyssal Hunter. With all that and the Bloodlust, honestly, I think that was like 30 heavenlies. Honestly, never mind, they just got a Genesis. Now Dreamscape, this is the rarest limbo aura, 1 in 850 million. Yeah, honestly, this is not 1 in 850 million. This becomes a 1 in 6 million with full VIP, and a 1 in 7.8 million if you don't have it. So if you just take off all your gauntlets, this becomes as rare as Twilight Breakthrough. But if you have them on, just for comparison, if you rolled in the overworld that had the same amount of luck, you'd get Breakthrough, Twilight Within Grace, or fail getting impeached, because it's actually easier to get than impeached, which I don't know how I don't have it, but it just is. Aegis, right there, 1 in 825 million normally, but it's actually a 1 in 27.1 million with all the VIP buffs, and a 1 in 35.3 million without VIP. So if you get Blizzard Breakthrough and you happen to have all of your gauntlets off and no other boosts on, and you have VIP plus, you just missed out on Aegis. Congratulations. Now Withered, which 1 in 800 million, and I have a funny thing to tell you guys. Just take a look at this. 3 ruins withered aura. This is my main account. My alt account has 3 withers as well. That's 6 in total. In one night here. Look at this. October 2nd. October 2nd. I got a dupe sovereign as well. This game is trolling me to the worst degree possible. It's literally just giving me dupe globals. This could have been like ages twice now, and I could have had an easy time with Sandworm, but enough yap. This aura isn't actually 1 in 26.3 billion of all the VIPs. And I won 34.2 million with VIP. So all of these rare auras are actually so similar in rarity to ethereal. All of these 1 in 800 millions if you don't have VIP. That's just crazy. Now Sovereign, my favorite aura that I literally had as my best for half my rolls before getting withered, becomes a 1 in 24.7 million with VIP and a 1 in 32.1 million with VIP. So basically Aviator Breakthrough if you got VIP plus and you don't have your gauntlets on. And now Prologue, 1 in 666 million. Budget oppression, but it looks quite good honestly. 1 in 4.7 million with maximum VIP and 1 in 6.1 million if you don't have it. So basically less rare than Overture if you rolled in the overworld instead of Limbo. Yeah, these numbers lie so much. Like you literally get Zeus if you just don't use any of your gauntlets at all in the overworld, and you get Prologue here. That's just crazy. It's actually just stupid, and I'm surprised I don't have more of these Limbo globals yet. Now Matrix Reality, I wanted 601 million aura, which is unsatisfied. Becomes a 1 in 19.8 million if you have VIP plus and VIP, and a 1 in 25.7 million if you don't have it. So Chromatic instead if you forgot your gauntlets. Yeah, all of this global inflation stuff is just wild honestly, looking at it. Now back in the overworld, take a look at Elude, which is a 1 in 555555555 aura. That is totally definitely not that rarity. It's a 1 in 3.9 million if you have all the max VIPs and a 1 in 5.1 if you don't. So basically a slightly rarer Radiant Breakthrough is all that it is, even though it's kind of close in rarity to Poseidon. Now Sapphira, I actually don't know who has this, so that's a bit of an issue. 1 in 570 million. Sorry for not putting this in order, that's the way it is. 1 in 18.7 million max VIP and 1 in 24.4 million if you don't have it. The numbers are getting dumber and dumber, and a lot of auras here are chromatic rarity for some reason. Now Matrix Overdrive, another one of my favorite auras which I kept on getting back when I was stuck with 3 of them before I got Sovereign. 1 in 16.5 million with VIP and 1 in 21.5 million if you don't have it. So the question is, would you rather take this stinky lullaby breakthrough if you accidentally forgot to put on your gauntlets while it was day, even though I don't even know how you do that, or get an actual overdrive? Your choice. Well, let's switch to Ruins. 1 in 500 million, that becomes 1 in 16.4 million with VIP and 1 in 21 point without it. Yeah, all of these global auras are actually looking really common now. Now remember, it's the 1 in 450 million that makes my head round for some reason, becomes a 1 in 14.8 million if you have VIP, literally Arcane Legacy by the way, or 1 in 19.2 million if you don't have VIP and you get Chromatic without buffs instead. Now for a final Limbo quote-unquote global, it shouldn't even be one, honestly. Unknown 1 in 444, you get it, it's 444 million. It's a 1 in 3.1 million. So basically this aura breakthrough, if you have VIP or if you don't, it becomes this aura instead. This thing is easier to get than Chromatic Genesis if you're rolling in the overworld. These Limbo globals are an absolute joke honestly, if you look at the maths of course, because most people won't be AFKing in this annoying place where you can't roll anything else. Only leaderboard players have the sanity to do that, or people who want a lost skip. Now aura with close enough rarity, Apostolos, 1 in 444 million, 1 in 14.6 million if you have all the VIP buffs, and 1 in 19 million if you don't. It's just kind of too easy to get. So let's get on to Gargantua Breakthrough. 1 in 430 million aura. So colossal, so crazy, so massive. Guess what? It's a 1 in 14.1 million aura with all the VIPs, and 1 in 18.4 million if you don't. So basically easier to get an Arcane Legacy without any kind of buff. That's just a joke. And if we hop into Starfall to make this its native rarity, which is like 1 in 86 million, still a joke. Saying it, this becomes a 1 in 2.8 million if you have all the VIPs, and 1 in 3.7 million if you don't. So a slightly rarer virtual if you forgot your buffs and you were inside Starfall. Wow. Now the breakthrough version of Abyssal Hunter. There's full 1 in 400 million rarity. It's sick, it makes you walk fast, and it becomes 1 in 13.1 million of all the VIPs, and a 1 in 17.1 million if you don't have it. We are approaching Sailor Breakthrough, Realms of Aura here. Now, for some reason, Sailor can swim, while Abyssal Hunter can't. But honestly, I'd rather Abyssal Hunter because it makes you walk faster. Nobody walks on the water anyway. But it's native in this sad rainy biome, which doesn't rain for some reason. It's a 1 in 3.3 million, downforce 1 in 100 million, and a 1 in 4.3 million. So practically a savior. Now the 1 in 360 million epic Atlas Breakthrough of a functioning compass is 1 in 360 million. Craziness. Becomes 1 in 11.8 million with VIP, or 1 in 50.4 Arcane Legacy without it. Sailor can definitely go on water, but it doesn't matter. You're either getting this thing or Atlas. But if Atlas becomes its native rarity, which is 1 in 90 million, this becomes a 1 in 3 million. So this breakthrough, or 1 in 3.8 million if you don't have VIP. Chelsea breakthrough is a 1 in 375 million. And of course I don't have it. Doesn't matter, it becomes a 1 in 12.3 million with my buffs and 1 in 16 million without the buffs. This is just getting crazy. And if I step into Snowy Biome, which has a purpose because, well, Chelsea gave it one. It's a 1 in 125 million, a 1 in 4.1 million with all the VIPs, and a 1 in 5.3 if you don't. Yeah, all of these auras just become 1 million pluses if you're rolling without buffs. This is just sad. The 1 in 336 million Mighty Jazz Orchestra, which is absolutely crazy looking, and becomes a 1 in 11 million, or 1 in 14.4 if you don't have the game passes. Yeah, let's just call it a Star Scourge breakthrough, honestly. Close enough. Lotus Fall, 1 in 320 million. This is a 1 in 10.5 million, or the aura that's right here, or a 1 in 13.7 if you don't have the game pass. Lotus Fall sure looks better than Star Scourge, is all I can really say. I take the Lotus Fall and the Gauntlet. And of course, bro's got Maelstrom as well, which is very similar in rarity. This is the breakthrough. 1 in 309 million. Becomes a 1 in 10.2 million with all the VIPs, and a 1 in 30.2 without it. But if we go into a windy biome where it's really windy, as you can kind of tell, this aura becomes a 1 in 3.4 million. So that thing, or a 1 in 4.4 if you don't have any of the game passes. So now we look at the time stopping powers of the 1 in 300 million Overture history. It can actually just freeze people like that, which becomes 1 in 9.9 million with all the VIP game passes, and a 1 in 12.8 without. Now the breakthrough of the Deadly Bloodlust, a 1 in 300 million aura normally, which becomes the same 1 in 9.9 million of max VIP and 12.8 if you don't have it. But if I go into Hell Biome, this becomes Nimble 1 in 50 million, or 1 in 1.6 million instead, or 2.1 without VIP, which is the same rarity or close enough as gravitational. Wow, the duality of having gauntlets and having no gauntlets. These gauntlets change so much. Exotic Void, wow, there's a lot of these auras around the 300 million mark for some reason. 1 in 299, 99999, you get it, becomes 1 in 9.8 million of all the VIPs, and a 1 in 12.8 million of no VIP. And honestly, everyone forgot about it, especially because it was originally actually a 10 million plus, even though in reality it isn't even one now. Now the breakthrough version of Astral Zodiac at 1 in 267 million and 200, the Cosmic Sign Bearer, so elegant, so cool looking, except that it's actually a 1 in 8.8 million of all the VIP game passes, and a 1 in 11.4 if you don't. So if you got Nile breakthrough and you feel like you got scammed out of a 1 million plus, guess what, you got even more scammed, because if you forgot your buffs and got this thing and got scammed, you could have gotten an Astral Zodiac. And if we hop into Starfall Biome to get ourselves a native version, which is a 1 in 53 million, it becomes a 1 in 1.7 million, or a 1 in 2.3 million. We're getting close to the low tier auras like Cosmos with these rarities. That's just sad. Now classic Archangel, 1 in 250 million. Everyone remember this thing. It's OP in boss raids. I still have to use it because I don't have Aegis, but it's in reality a 1 in 8.2 million of all the VIP game passes, and a 1 in 10.7 million if you don't have them. Harness levels of rarity here, and harness just is annoying for some reason, because I always get it when I want something good, and this is not good, as you can tell. Now Hypervolt Everstorm, 1 in 225 million, and for some reason that guy looks kind of mad. Yeah, this is a 1 in 7.4 million, so literally no joke here, the rarity of a normal Hypervolt. So using your gauntlets and not using them is the difference between normal Hypervolt and that thing. And without buffs, 1 in 9.6 million. So one of the first globals that isn't really even a global, even if you don't have VIP flow. Now oppression I won't include because Pew's getting raw oppression, honestly. Are you sure? I didn't even bother making the calculations, similar to Everstorm. Now the first global of the game in Peach Breakthrough, 1 in 200 million. When I was talking about how globalization ruined the game, I use this aura all the time because it is the first. This thing natives awarded 6.6 million or awarded 8.5 million. Hades is all that has impeached has been reduced to. That's just miserable. And if I hop into corruption with its epic impeached ability, 1 in 1.3 billion or 1 in 1.7 million. So guess what? We've arrived in gross Cosmo and disgusting astral land worth of rarity here. Wow. Impeach native is too easy to get, and honestly, as globals get even more added and we get better gauntlets, this is just going to become worse. And honestly, I'm not complaining. The Genesis Drive is good, but we're not getting enough 1 billion pluses to change that. Let's switch to this kind of joke of an aura, Twilight Withering Grace Breakthrough. 1 in 180 million, or weeks, as the game calls them. 1 in 5.9 million of max VIP, and 1 in 10.7 if you don't have VIP. Twilight without the mutations, or Withering Grace. That's just insane. And now, if it becomes night, this Withering Grace aura, there's a reason why this aura hasn't even been out for like 2 weeks, and I already have more than a row. That's because this is a 1 in 18 million in this biome. Yup, it's the most common aura in the game. It's worse than Radiant Breakthrough if you get this thing Breakthrough. Get ready for this. This is a 1 in 600,000 aura if you forgot your buffs. So basically an aura so easy to get that I don't even bother keeping anymore. Warlock, if you had no buffs on. And still 1 in 800,000 if you don't have VIP. Honestly, why is it so easy to get? Why did this have to have Day-Night Breakthrough? Or they could have, at this point, this is the main reason why Day-Night Breakthrough has to finally be fixed. Even though they're definitely adding a gauntlet that needs Solar Solstice, and I'll suffer getting it next. Now 1 in 175 million, Elegant Symphony with a lot of abilities for some reason nowadays is instead a 1 in 5.8 million of all the VIPs, and a 1 in 7.5 million if you don't have VIP. Wow, Symphony just seems too easy to get, honestly. The 1 in 150 million Overture with all of its vibrancy and time-stopping capabilities, by the way, those are nice. 1 in 4.9 million of VIP, and 1 in 6.4 without them. Yup, we're in Galaxy Breakthrough land now. That's crazy. Now we switch to the stinkers. Star Scourge Radiant Breakthrough, which is the same rarity as like Prologue or something. And it's 1 in 100 million. It becomes a 1 in 3.3 million with all the buffs, and 1 in 4.3 million without VIP. Okay, yeah, this is its full rarity, by the way. Now let's hit a clickable button, make this into a 1 in 20 million. Star Scourge Native. Second most common global in the entire game. It becomes a 1 in 700,000 of all the VIPs, and a 1 in 900,000 without them. Yeah, we have a lot of Warlock grade globals here. It's kind of weird saying that, but it's just true. And finally, one of the OGs, one of the epic ones, Chromatic Genesis. 1 in 99,999,999. There was a time where this wasn't even considered 100 million plus, but of course they lowered it by 1, so it was. This aura is similar to Radiant. I mean, basically exactly the same. A 1 in 3.3 million with VIP plus, and a 1 in 4.2 without them. But of course, this doesn't have a disgusting native rarity. It's just pure global. And that was all of the 100 million plus auras in Souls RNG, and how they become stupidly easy. Now let's go over stuff like Memory and Oblivion, which I'd equip, but I don't have it. I don't have any as well to pop. Now these just stay at 1 in 100 or 1 in 2000 for Oblivion, because, well, luck doesn't affect them, so they always are the same rarity. And Nekaraf, which I can't find, that's the same 1 in 1000 as well. Yup. These globals become stupidly easy to get in the past eras, and of course, don't think that these are actually just Arcane Legacy or Carriage. If you're trying to get Equinox, if you got a Carriage without any of your gauntlets on, if I take all my gauntlets off right here, and of course put off all my haste trees and stuff, that's when getting Carriage would get you Equinox if you had these things. This is just crazy. The only thing I'd say is global inflation bads. We need more 1 billion pluses, even though I can't get any of them yet, so it doesn't affect me. But please like and subscribe if you guys want to see more of these videos where I put into perspective how auras aren't actually that rare as they might sound. And well, goodbye.